Have you ever wondered how a colossal cruise ship, a symbol of luxury and safety, can turn into a nightmarish disaster within minutes? Imagine the gentle hum of the engine, the soothing sea breeze, the twinkling stars above, and then chaos. A serene vacation transforming into a fight for survival. This is not a scene from a blockbuster movie. This is the chilling reality of the Concordia cruise. Welcome to the chilling tale of the Concordia cruise mystery. Our story begins on the night of January 13, 2012, aboard the majestic Costa Concordia. Imagine a colossal floating city, resplendent with light and life. A beacon of luxury and opulence, the Costa Concordia was more than just a ship. It was a floating palace, a testament to human ingenuity and elegance. On this fateful night, 2,200 souls were aboard, each seeking their own slice of paradise. The Concordia set sail from Civitavecchia, a port near Rome, on a week-long Mediterranean cruise. The voyage was expected to be nothing out of the ordinary, another journey filled with joy and discovery. The ship, in all its grandeur, was ready to offer its passengers the experience of a lifetime. As the Concordia journeyed towards its next port of call, the atmosphere on board was electric. Laughter echoed through the grand hallways, wine glasses clinked in joyous toast, and the melodies of a live orchestra filled the air. The ship was a world of its own, oblivious of the impending doom. Then, as the clock neared 9:30 in the evening, disaster struck. The Concordia, in a fatal miscalculation, veered too close to the island of Isola del Giglio. Beneath the azure waters lay a submerged rock, an unseen menace lurking in the depths. In a heart-stopping moment, the Concordia collided with the rock. A shudder ran through the ship, a chilling premonition of the tragedy to come. The collision tore a 50-meter gash in the hull, a wound from which the Concordia would never recover. Suddenly, the laughter was replaced with gasps of horror. The clinking glasses fell silent, and the music was drowned out by the screams of panic. The floating palace had been fatally wounded, its dreamlike state shattered in an instant. The Concordia, a floating palace, was fatally wounded. What followed next was a scene straight out of a horror movie. As the Concordia collided with the underwater rocks, the impact sent a shudder through the massive vessel. The bright lights flickered, then went out, plunging the ship into darkness. The deafening sound of crunching metal echoed through the halls, followed by an eerie silence. That silence, however, was short-lived. Panic set in almost immediately. The passengers, oblivious to the gravity of the situation, were caught in a wave of fear and confusion. The once lively atmosphere of the Concordia was now replaced by terrified screams and cries for help. People were running in every direction, desperately seeking an escape route, their pleas for assistance echoing off the metallic walls. The crew members, equally shocked and unprepared, struggled to maintain control over the escalating situation. Their lack of training was evident in their frantic attempts to calm the passengers and organize an evacuation. However, their efforts were hindered by the lack of information and the rapidly deteriorating conditions on the ship. Adding to the chaos was the delayed evacuation order. For reasons known only to the captain and his officers, the call to abandon ship was not made until over an hour after the collision. This delay cost precious time that could have been used to safely evacuate the passengers and crew. As the minutes ticked by, the situation on the Concordia continued to worsen. Water was seeping into the ship at an alarming rate, causing it to list heavily to one side. The once luxurious cruise liner was now a sinking ship, its grandeur replaced by a grim reality of impending doom. The passengers, once excited for their voyage, were now faced with a fight for survival. The crew, once responsible for their comfort and safety, were now the ones they relied on to save their lives. In the midst of chaos and confusion, the Concordia was rapidly taking on water and listing heavily. The scene was a nightmare, a testament to the terrifying power of the sea and the fragility of human life. At the helm of this chaos was Captain Francesco Schettino, a man whose decisions in the hours that followed would become the epicenter of controversy and debate. Let's delve into the actions of this man, which have been scrutinized, criticized, and debated by many. Schettino was a seasoned seafarer, having spent over 3 decades on the waves. Yet, on that fateful night, his actions spoke a different story. When the Concordia struck the rocks, he failed to promptly order an evacuation, a decision that many believe had dire consequences. As the ship began to list, the situation escalated, yet the order to abandon ship was not given until an hour after the initial impact. In the world of maritime safety, time is a precious commodity, and many argue that this delay resulted in unnecessary loss and chaos. On the other hand, some defend Schettino, suggesting that the evacuation's delay was due to the ship's severe tilt, making lifeboat deployment challenging. However, this raises another question. Could the disaster have been mitigated if the ship had been closer to shore? But perhaps the most controversial of all Schettino's actions was his decision to abandon the ship while passengers were still on board. This act defies the age-old maritime tradition, the captain goes down with his ship. It's a tradition that underscores the captain's responsibility for the lives of those on board. When the Italian Coast Guard ordered Schettino to return to his sinking ship, he refused, an act that sparked outrage and disbelief around the world. This decision, more than any other, has painted Schettino as a figure of controversy. In the aftermath, Schettino was found guilty of multiple charges, including manslaughter, causing a shipwreck, and abandoning ship. He was sentenced to 16 years in prison, a sentence that many believe was deserved, while others argue was too harsh. Schettino, once a captain, now a figure of controversy and blame. His story serves as a stark reminder of the weight of responsibility that rests on a captain's shoulders. A weight that, on that fateful night, proved too heavy for one man to bear. The sunken Concordia remained a grim reminder of that fateful night. In the immediate aftermath, rescue efforts were launched with a sense of urgency. Braving the cold, dark waters, divers went in, searching for survivors. The world held its breath as every minute, every second was a race against time. Meanwhile, the captain, Francesco Schettino, found himself in the eye of a storm. Accused of abandoning the ship before the evacuation was complete, he was put on trial. The proceedings were watched closely, not just in Italy, but worldwide. After a long, drawn-out trial, Schettino was found guilty of multiple charges, including manslaughter, causing a shipwreck, and abandoning ship. His convictions send a powerful message about the responsibility of those in command. Moving past the trial, the wreck of the Concordia couldn't be left to rust in the pristine waters of the Mediterranean. So began the Parbuckling Project, a monumental task to remove the colossal wreck. It was a painstaking process, a dance between engineering prowess and the unpredictable sea. But eventually, the Concordia was removed, leaving behind only the memories of the disaster. In the grand scheme of things, the Concordia cruise mystery is a tale of human error, of panic and chaos, and of the consequences of neglecting responsibility. But it's also a story of resilience, of the tireless efforts of rescuers and engineers. The Concordia cruise mystery, a chilling reminder of the thin line between luxury and disaster.